Hello, my name is Lori. My channel is called Gratefully Stitched. Today I thought I'd show you some of my hooks that I use. I'm going to pick this phone up a minute. Open that up. And I have some things where I store my hooks. In here and here. And this is what I use the most. I keep this on my bedside. And I really like this. It's got all these places around that you can put the hooks in. Like this, so I've got all kinds of hooks around it. Then you have a little place in the center where you can put things. That's really nice. And then bigger hooks that I don't use, I just keep in this little kind of flower pot thing, and it's up on my dresser along with this here. And now I'll talk to you about turning that back around. These are my biggest hooks. This is a 50 millimeter hook. Pretty good size. This one is a 40 millimeter. So this is when I used to use the really big yarn, and now it's so expensive I quit using it because it just took too much. I also used this 25 millimeter hook, and then I used this hook. They don't really be in order, but and this is like a, I think this is a 15.75 millimeter, and I believe this one is close to that, just different heads how they look. And here's a, this one I believe is a 20, yeah, this is a 20 millimeter wooden hook. So I used to use that on a lot of the big yarn. I had a couple more big hooks here that I used. And this one, this is, I believe also, this is a 19 millimeter hook. So pretty good size there. This is a 15 millimeter. I like this brand, but I haven't used it much in a long time. I don't think I had any more like that. And I had some that were, what is that? That's a 15 millimeter, and a 12 and a 10 of this brand. I don't even remember the name of it, but I had several like that that I used. There's another one. There's an 8 like that. Then I got some of these kind of hooks. That's a 10 millimeter, that's a 7 millimeter, and that's a 9 millimeter. And those are pretty nice. But I don't use those much anymore. I got these when I was attempting to knit, and it's got a cable on it. But I couldn't figure out the knitting. It just didn't click for me, so I quit using that. This one is a 20 millimeter, and it's just a short little handle, so I had switched to the bigger handles after a while with that. Then I got some like this. I think this is a 10 millimeter. I don't even remember the brand of that. And this one's a 15 millimeter, which is like that green one, and then this one is a 12 millimeter. So I did a whole lot of work with bigger yarns in the past. Oh, here's an 8 millimeter in that set like that, and this is a 20 millimeter in that other kind of set with the, yeah, this is pretty nice. I just don't use yarn this big anymore, so I'm not using those. I also got some Susan Bates hooks that have these ergonomic type handles, and those were pretty nice, but I don't use those much anymore. I used this one for a while, quite a bit, this 10 with this wooden handle. I liked it. It was pretty nice. And then I had these plastic hooks. That's a 10 millimeter. That's an 11.5 millimeter. That's a 9 millimeter. And that's a Susan Bates hook. That is a 10 millimeter. That's a big metal heavy hook. And here is a 9 millimeter like that. So I used all these in the beginning. And that is a 11.5, and this one is a 9 in this plastic. And I have another one. Oh, here it is. This is an 8 millimeter. So I had these plastic hooks. And so I tried all these different hooks, but then I found, oh, this is a 9 millimeter with a nice handle too. This was one I used a lot in the old days. But then I found the clover hooks, and I use these all the time. These are my go-to hooks. I try to use the other ones, but they're just not, they don't work very well. And I even got 2 of the 7s because I use it so often I can keep it with 2 different projects. I tried the Prim hooks. So that's a 9 millimeter. That's a 12 millimeter. That's a 10 millimeter. And that is an 8 millimeter. And I know I've got a 7 millimeter somewhere. But I just didn't like how those worked. Then next I tried getting, where's the other one? I don't even know what I did with the other one. I got these O'Fire ones, and it just catches on everything. This one is a 9 millimeter, and I have an 8 millimeter, but it's just wide at the top, and it catches in all the yarn. So, oh, there's the other one. You see those two like that, but they just weren't working for me when I tried to use them. And I got, and this is another one. This is a 10 millimeter in that. But again, these heads, it just is wide right up in here, and it would catch on everything. So I don't hardly use those. And there's a 7 in the Prim hook, so I have all those Prim hooks. There's a 9 in the Clover, and that's the 8 in the Clover. The 10 my dog chewed the bottom off of, so it's taped up. I need to get another one. This is the 15 millimeter. I love these big hooks. I want to get back into my big yarn again. This is the 12 millimeter. I like the 12 and 15, 20 millimeter for yarn. It's cool. And the 2 7s. I also tried, and I do use these, I tried these dot hooks, and I have 3 of them. I got a 5 and a 5.5 and a 6. And so right now I'm using the 6, and but I use the Clover for the 5 and the 5.5. I also tried the Furls hooks, and I have a 6 and a 7. But again, these kind of catch at the top. I guess it's just how I hold the yarn, or I don't twist it enough to turn it upside down, and it just is dragging. And those Clover don't drag at all. They're just amazing. So I love them. Here's another one of those plastic hooks. That one is a 15 millimeter. So lots of big size hooks. I have some of these Susan Bates, like ergonomic smaller hooks, 5. And I do have a few of, which one is this? This is a boy hook, and that's an 8 millimeter. I use that quite a bit. in the beginning, this was a set of hooks that I got. There's a 6 and a 5, and this is a 7. And I think it's just on Amazon. I don't even know it doesn't say the brand name on it or anything, so I don't even remember what it was. But these are okay, but they're just not as good as the Clover. I have a 6.5 in the plastic, like that. And then this is a Wooble hook. I had my daughter go. I have a Wooble kit that I got. I'm trying to make a sloth, and so I think this one. No, this is the Clover, and that's a Clover, and that's a Clover. So I really love the Clovers. This was a set I got. It came in this case like this. What does that say? Vodiye, V-O-D-I-Y-E, V-O-D-I-Y-E. And so this is, what size would that be? That's the 25 millimeter, but it's really short, real short little handle. So I never really did use these. It came in 25 millimeter, that's a 20 millimeter. That one is a 15 millimeter. I bet this is, oh no, that's not, what is that one? Oh, 18 millimeter. How strange. I didn't even know I had an 18 millimeter hook. That's one you don't see very often. And that's a 15 millimeter, and that's a 12 millimeter. That's the smallest one in it. So it goes from 12 to 25. And I got those when I first started crocheting, and I've really never even used these. That's terrible. Have all these hooks, and then you just find one set that you like, and you use it all the time. And I have all these other ones that I was buying to try, and just didn't use any of them. This one has got a couple more of these plastic hooks in them that I used in the beginning. That's a 7 millimeter. And this one is an 8 millimeter. And they're okay, but they're just not as good as the Clover. And this is an 8 millimeter. Just a, metal hook. This one is a 9 millimeter, and I used to use that all the time. I used those metal ones a lot. And I had a lot of these little metal ones, and some couple more. That's a 6.5 and a 5. And then there's another one of those. These were the ergonomic handles. These are the Susan Bates hooks. I tried one of these that lights up. This is a 6 millimeter. But now the battery, oh no, it still works. Look at there, it lights up. You see, yeah, see where it lights up there? But it just doesn't work very good for me. It's just awkward to hold, and the light just doesn't work right. And then here's a little wooden, I have one little wooden one. Quite a bit smaller than my big wooden one. And then of course I have this wonderful hook that I got from Mishi. This is an O-Fire. It's a 4.0. Now this one works nice, but I don't use very much yarn that I use a 4 hook for. I usually, about a 5 is about the smallest I like. I really would do a 5.5 and a 6 better than a 5, but so I don't really do much with 4. But I'm beginning to go down from the giant yarn that I used before. And then this is a 5.5 Clover, and this is a great hook. I use this all the time, and I use my 6 that I'm working on something with now. But oh, and for lights, I have this light that you put on, and then it's got 3 different levels that you can turn on, so I do like that. I use it sometimes, but it tends to slide around, so that's a problem with this. I guess I don't set it on there right, put it tight enough or something, but anyway. And this one, now I use this all the time. I'm getting old. Just put this on and turn it on, and I got a headlamp. But if you go out and try to talk to anybody, they're like, oh, you're blinding me, turn that off. So anyway, well, I just thought I'd share with you all the hooks that I've used, and what I started out with, and what sizes they range from these giant ones. Where's the other giant one? Oh, it fell off down here. From my biggest one, these two I thought were so cool. I got these on Etsy, and I just love them, but they're pretty hard. My wrist hurts trying to work with big yarn for these, so I don't really do any of these big hooks anymore. I'm down to the maybe 5 through 8. I don't even hardly do stuff in a 10 hook like I used to do all the time, but I had, you know, all those big hooks that I did all that big yarn in the beginning because I could see it. But now I wear these magnifying glasses and get the lights, and I can see the smaller yarn, and it's cheaper. The big yarn was so expensive, I just got to where I couldn't buy it anymore, because you'd get, you know, 90 yards and it'd make like 2 rows this tall, and you'd need 50 skeins that cost $25 a piece, and so I just quit buying them. But anyway, I hope you liked watching this, and if you have any questions, let me know. And I appreciate you subscribing to my channel and liking the video. That really helps it out a lot. I've got like 195 subscribers. I'm going to have another giveaway when I get to 200, and I'm just so thankful to all of you for joining my channel and watching my videos. That means so much to me. I read all the comments and I reply to everyone, and I pray for all you guys. If any of you have lost anybody, I lost my wonderful husband 6 years ago. I miss him every minute of every day, and crochet has helped pull me out of that grief I was in for a rough time, a couple years, very dark place. And it was terrible. And it's still very hard. I have days where I'm just struggling so much with the grief. But you guys all have made all the difference in the world to help make my day all the time. So thank you for allowing me to do this, and for actually watching and supporting the channel. That means so much to me. And God has blessed this, and I thank Him for it every day. So I hope you all have a blessed day, and I'll talk to you again soon. Bye-bye. One thing I wanted to add here was I was just going to show you, I've got this little thing my daughter made me here, and it just holds all these little, I can put this back up here, I'm not very organized, am I? Holds all these little markers, and like this says 5.5 millimeter, like that. And so I got these thinking that I would put them on my projects to remember what size hook I used, but it was just, it's such a mess to dig through all of these, trying to find which one you need. I got some here that I thought I could put, you know, what kind of hook, I, J, K, so you could get these in alphabet size or anything like that. And then I have some of these tension rings, and I can't figure out how to use them. My daughter gave some to me to try, and I know you're supposed to like put them on your finger and put the yarn through them, because I don't hold my yarn the way people do with their finger here. I just hold on to it like this, and I wrap the yarn around my hook instead of using the hook to go through the yarn. So that doesn't work for me. So I just have this sitting in the center of this here, so down in there in the middle is where I put this little case. And this is also nice where I have a little pair of scissors, and I have needles, and I put stitch markers right there. And so I really like this, having it right here on my nightstand. And I have the 2 different kinds. So this is my most used hooks that I keep in these little things I got on Amazon. If anybody's interested, let me know, and I'll find out what the link was and show you. Thank you. A dinner brought to me. That's my lovely granddaughter bringing me food. My daughter cooks for me. I'm blessed to have both of them here. And the dog wants to get in on it too. Don't you, buddy?
No, I'm right here still.
Okay. Well, I didn't see you in it, so you should be good. There. I got it twisted back at me. Well, anyway, I just want to show you that. I better go put this down and eat my dinner, but I hope you guys have a wonderful night. Have a blessed day. We'll be making a video soon with my granddaughter when my Sandhill yarn comes tomorrow. And then I'm expecting a package from Rachel with some plushies in it. I can't wait till they get here. Rachel Riley Crochet. And Rachel is wonderful, and she's been a big help to me getting this channel going. I really appreciate her. And Missy at Missy's Crochet Nook. And I love watching Juan the Yarn Addict and Creative Grandma and Jeannie at On the Hook Crochet. Those are the channels I follow the most right now. And there's several new ones I'm watching. I'll have to write the names down and let you know what some of those are as I find them. They're pretty fun. And Dawn Yarn Dolls one, and Margie is another. They have some channels, and there's so many people out there do crochet. There's a new lady. What is her name? I can't remember, but she started a new channel just a couple weeks ago. I'll get her name and put it down in the description. She's got some good yarn, and she shows a lot of interesting videos. So it's something crochet, like garage crochet, or no, I don't know. I don't even remember, but anyway, I'll find out what that was and put the name of that video down in the description too. Anyway, that's all I have to tell you, and I hope you guys have a wonderful day. Please be blessed. God loves you. Bye-bye. All right, one last thing I forgot to say when I did the add-on to the first video about not liking all these little stitch markers in here, trying to dig through them and find what I wanted. It took too much time. So what I do is I just take one of these plastic stitch markers, and I have a magic marker. Well, it's a permanent ink pen, and it's got a fine point tip there. And so, like, say I'm using a 6mm crochet hook, I'll just write 6 on here, and I'll stick this in my beginning starting chain. Wherever the starting chain is, I'll put that in there, and then when I pick up the project again, I have it right there as to what I use, what size hook I use to start. And it's always there, and it doesn't go away. But the only problem is I forget to put those in sometimes. And then I pick it up again, and I don't have that. Or ones that are from a long time ago that don't have them in there. I don't remember what size hook so many times. It is terrible. I'm sure other people have struggled with that too. So if you want something quick and easy, this has just been the best thing. And excuse me a second. You can get these plastic stitch markers in these little cases on Amazon, and they're really cheap. So these are hundreds of them. And I've already used a box like this with all my whips that I've got, as you can see behind my dinner plate sitting on my yarn. But you know, this is the current works in progress that I'm got going on. That's my big yarn up there at the top, and I put them all in big plastic suction vacuum bags to get them down small enough, because I wasn't working with the big yarn anymore, and I'd have to buy more yarn to finish most of them, and so I'm not doing that right now. I've got enough other yarn. I don't need to buy any more yarn. I've got to stop. But it's so much fun to buy yarn. It's a problem. And I love Sandhill yarn, as you guys know. I've got some arriving tomorrow that I'll show you, and some more coming Monday. And they got up to 1,500 skeins, and they didn't actually sell out of all of it this time, because they had enough for everybody, and there's still a little bit left over if you want some. There's a couple of, one called Deku, and I can't remember the name of the lime green colored one, but there's still those two on their website. If you need a color like that, green, then go take a look. And there's a few left, and not very many, but I think 18 and 9 or something like that last time I looked. But anyway, you can make sure the dog's not getting my food. You can check that out, and I'll show you another video tomorrow when my yarn comes in from them. Really pretty colors. And anyway, that's it. Now this will be the last one. I won't add any more onto this, I promise. Love you guys. Bye bye.